60. See, this one's defunct totally. I have already taken this apart once just to identify what the problem was and put it back together, but now I've actually managed to order the component from Amazon. I'm going to attempt today to replace this joystick. Okay, what you need for this, tools you require basically are a Torx T8 driver bit. It looks very similar to this, and as you can see it's got a tamper-proof hole through the center, and that's because on these controllers they use a size T8. This is a T50 that I'm showing you now, hex driver with a security pinhole through the center, and on the reverse of these units you can see they use the same fitment, and if you can see right in the center there is a pin. So you do require a specialist tool to remove the screws to separate the unit. You can also use a 1mm or a 2mm flathead screwdriver and break that pin out and use a standard hex a T8 hex driver bit. But I prefer to use the right tool, so what we've got is a T8 driver bit here with the hole through the center taken out. If you can just about see that little black dot right on the end of the driver, that is the hole. So the first thing you've got to do then really is to remove 7 screws, 6 which are visible. They're on the back here, and as you can see, I'll just zoom the camera out a little bit just so you can see, there we are, 6 standard screw holes there. Remove those 6. Obviously remove the battery compartment first of all to start off with, so you're not going to cause any problems when you take it apart. Put that to one side, and you've also got the 7th screw under the serial number label in this particular, so they might be in slightly different places on later models. So there is also one located under here as well. Just get that in the light for you. So what you can basically do is to remove that serial number label. Just get this way you can see that. Flick the edge up there, like that, and you should be able to use a pair of tweezers. There we are, pair of tweezers. Remove that label. Oh. Flick the edge up there, remove that label, like that, and there's your 7th screw. You can always put that label back if you want later. Just put him on the side of the unit there for a minute like that. You need to actually remove the controller from the back where the springs are, where the battery compartment is, towards the front over these buttons here. They're a bit light pressure, so if you hold it at the front there and at the back there, a little bit of gentle pressure, a little bit of rocking very gently, that will spring up like that. There we are. Alright. Put that to one side. The next thing you want to do is to remove these 2 impeller, the vibration units, left and right of the controller. If you'll notice also that on on one side there's a slightly larger impeller to the other side. So just note that, remember it's upside down. If you look at it as the way you are now, on the right hand side, that's where the larger impeller goes back into the unit on reverse. What you've effectively got to do is to just unclip these 2 units here. Okay. And again, you'll note, best to make a note of, your red lead is to the left, red lead to the left on both units. These just unplug. Okay, a little bit awkward to get out. I've got nails, but you might need to get a little claw unit or something. So just lift them out from the housing itself, get your nails each side, and just gently, slight rocking motion, and that will just unclip from the board. Like that. There we are. That's now come out. Put him to one side. Do the same the other side. They just lift out so you've got no tension on the wire. And again, once again, put your nails each side of that little socket. Little gentle rocking, and there we are. It's just unclipped. So that comes out there now. Okay, next thing we want to do now is to remove the PCB and this little plate at the back of the controller here. Just to bring the camera out a fraction. There we are. Just gently by working both sides, that will lift out, that can go to one side. And again, now what we've got here is the PCB. It's almost free. Now we can just gently lift that up, and that should just lift up away from the housing itself, leaving all the buttons and the contacts in place. That can go to one side, and we can come back to that when we're reassembling. Right. Okay, so just coming out a little bit. So basically there is our board now, with the button still attached itself. No more loose components on there now, and if we flip that over, and there we are, there's our joysticks. This is the good one, of course, and as you can see here, this is the one that we're going to be replacing. It's totally broken, no use to anybody now, so I'm going to replace that. Welcome back to my first upload videos. This is a little project. This is part 2. In part 1 I dismantled a wireless Xbox 360 controller to replace one of the analog joysticks. This is the component we're going to be replacing here. The one that's on the board is broken, so we're going to replace this. We've got 14 terminals to disconnect, so we've got to desolder the existing component off the board, and hopefully, if all goes well, we're going to replace it with this one here. I've managed to locate one on my internet store on Amazon. There we are, it's a bit slightly closer. You've effectively got 14 solder points to remove this chap. Okay, and it's this little series here in this square. You've got 4 here, and then you've got another 10, 1 on each corner there, 3 down the side there, and 3 there. So you've got the location points there. That's what we're going to be cleaning up anyway and desoldering. The Xbox 360 controller dismantled, ready for work on the board. A little bit there, we are starting to float up. Now, so we'll just shake that board off, clean those bits up with a brush. Okay, a couple more little bits there just to tidy up, we'll get rid of them. Okay, right, that's looking pretty clean and tidy. Effectively now we should be very careful be able to now, there we are, good. Okay, so that's looking clean, no solders run through there, that's good. Okay, so now what we've got to do is to put the new chappy back. Make sure the holes are all visible, yeah, okay. It should just a little bit of a gentle, but not aggressive. Yeah, I can see the problem there. A little wiggle. Get that into there. There we are. That's it. That's not first. Up in that top corner, so we know that. That's it. That's good. One there, and we'll do this one over here, right hand side as well. Legs 1, 2, 3. Float on there a bit quick. We're just gonna. There you go, lovely. Yeah. Being careful not to overfill the solder, the pad. Okay. Quick inspection. Hi, welcome back. This is part 3. This is after we've replaced one of the analog joysticks on a wireless Xbox 360 controller PCB. So, okay, so we take the controller with all the buttons and everything all in place, upside down. Take our PCB and reseat the controller back into the framework of the upper half. A little bit of a gentle movement there. Take the back part of the joystick itself, and then it should just gently go over a couple of securing lugs inside the moulding. A little bit fiddly over the middle one there, and then that's it. Oh. All fingers and thumbs, guys. There we go. Okay. So what we want to do now is to insert the impellers, and if you notice from part 1, the larger impeller out of the 2, the larger impeller itself will be on the right hand side smaller one to the left. So with the contact in the uppermost position, red cable goes to the left, click it in place. Same with this one, in the uppermost position, seated back into the recess. It'll go back down. Okay, and from that position there, just rotate the impellers so the cables are sitting nicely against the board so as not to pinch them, but between the two halves of the housing when you reassemble. Okay, that's good. Okay, next thing to do is to put on the bottom half of the housing itself. Now what you need to do here is you need to depress these two battery terminal springs inwards very slightly, just so they go inside the housing. You need to put the front part over first, over the buttons, and then let it drop down to that, pushing in the springs, and then very gently pushing together, and that should nicely sit back together like that. Works great. It's removing. That's good. That's great. So the center screw goes in first in its position, and then basically like wheel nuts I do left and right as I got the sides of the controller. Put them into place like that. What you guys do now is to put the serial number back over that center one there, like that. There we are. Put it back into place, good as new. The battery housing back into place, like that. And go and test, hopefully. We'll link it up with the Xbox indoors, and hopefully we'll see what it looks like. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully I'll have more to come in the future, and I'll improve the video quality on the next ones. Thank you.